over here in the red at the north, we have our Protoss representing the North American scene. One of the highest ranked players in the ladder in the world.
Liquid Hawk.
Yeah. And now, at the south, our Zerg player, winning that previous game, a member of the team, the SCD Live.
TSL Revival.
And there's a shot of him now, probably feeling very confident after that sandwich attack.
Well, the bad thing about Terminus for Hug is that this map has 16 base, so the Zerg can literally expand anywhere they want. They can hide an expansion, you know, on the 9 o'clock position or at the 3 o'clock position. Or you can just do a fast expand on the natural, and there's not really much that the Protoss can do to stop it. So Hug really has to be careful. He's going to go for a Forge opening this time and going to go straight for a fast expand. I think he really has to try to pull this on to a slightly longer game because, you know, Hug doesn't like to do 4-gate.
Yeah, he's not much of a 4-gater. We'll see, though. This map is interesting because it's so big and open. The key moment to watch for is when they take the 4th base, in other words, the 3rd expansion, because you would subtract the main base from that. Main base doesn't count as expansion. That's the key moment, because that's when people can really start attacking each other. Anything else, unless it's a very all-in rush, kind of a cheese build, it's pretty hard to stop from getting a 3rd, considering how accessible the 3rd base is.
Well, this is kind of weird. The Zerg player seems like, Revival seems like he's trying to go for a early attack here because he's getting gas very early, which means he's gonna go for a speedling build. And it's very common nowadays to see a lot of Korean players actually go for a speedling baning against Forge Fast Expand because they can just crash the banings into all the cannons that are defending the front of the Protoss' base.
I have a cool idea.
What is the cool idea?
You know what is a cool thing Zerg could do, actually? I was just thinking about is, after Zerg takes the primary expansion in the front yard, for your 3rd base, take that one that's sort of in the middle. Because if Protoss sees that, they're going to assume that you have 4 bases, or in other words, 3 expansions instead of 2, and they might trigger Protoss to attack sooner than they would normally do that. So that's one idea. Well, I haven't actually played much Zerg lately.
We have to try that idea out for sure.
We got to get our lab coats on and our goggles and go try that in the StarCraft laboratory, see if that build works.
Well, the thing about being a Zerg and the moment I see a Forge expand is I'm so tempted to get early roaches and I just get a massive amount of roaches and just break in through the front doors.
Oh yeah, that stuff works really well against people
cannons.
like me because I'm probably one of the greedier players out there.
Just drone out, just probe.
I have like 1 cannon, I'm like, nah, I'm fine. Nothing's gonna happen. And then like 20 roaches come in there and I'm like, ah! That's the sound I make when I lose. I go, ah!
Oh, the Zerg actually cancelled his expansion. Looks like he's going for a roach on
1 base roach!
Oh.
I sense danger, Kelly!
That is a lot of danger. Hug definitely has to try to spot this. He's not ready for this push.
I'm scared for the Protoss. I know what this is like. Where you're like listening to dubstep on your computer, like making probes, like I'm gonna own this nub, and then like all those roaches come and you're like, ah.
9 roaches are actually on the way right now. Hug really has to try to get his gates up. He doesn't have gateway yet. Uh-oh, I hope he does spot this early roach aggression.
This is a considerable amount of roaches. That's going to be 9 roaches. And there's only...
1 cannon.
1 cannon. 2 cannons by the time they get there, but the angle of the pylons means that both those pylons can be killed before the... and, well, basically rendering the cannons useless.
Well, that's the thing about this build from Reviver. You are catching the Protoss player before he gets his 4-gate, so you catch him in between right when he's transiting without any army. Hug is not prepared for this at all. I really hope he tries to scout this. He does not have any scout right now, and he has gateway being proxy at his 2nd expansion there. He has a couple of sentries up. Let's see if he can hold this long enough.
The sentries are really important in moments like this, but it's one of the hardest things force field-wise to do to get the force fields in the right spot, protect the cannons. He needs 1 more to the left. I don't know if he's going to use that or if he's just going to wait. He needs more cannons. He needs more everything right now. And that was a badly placed force field. because some of the roaches could still reach that one cannon. He wanted to put it in the exact same location as before. I don't know. Now he's walling himself in right now with pylons. The problem is the positioning of Huck's cannons are just not that good.
But Reviver feeling really confident right now because Huck does not have much of an army. He has 3 sentries up, but that doesn't seem to be enough to hold up against this Speedling and Roach Wheel from the all-in, all-in Reviver.
You know what he actually wants to do right now is kill a Forge, because then it's like no more cannons, LOL. The next cannon's going to complete, but again, he can back off and kill the Warp Gate and the Forge.
Or if Huck can actually hold this, he's going to be ahead in economy and he can do a counter push.
Yeah.
Warp Gate is already up. He decides to go for a Sentry army instead of a Stalker army, lose his gateway up front.
He needs to get Stalkers out. I think his rush is getting a little bit sloppy from the Zerg. And now here's the problem is Protoss has 2 bases, Zerg have 1. Zerg always want to be ahead, not just because, everybody wants to be ahead in bases, obviously, but Zerg can't really win without being ahead in bases. That was close.
Huck held that by the neck of his teeth, seriously.
That was close.
That was so close.
I actually just assumed he was going to lose. That would have been so bad to lose like that. That's one of those games where you're just like,
Taylor was like wiping my tears away from me.
I know, I had my box of Kleenex out.
Oh my god.
My baby shampoo, because that stops tears.
Do you know how brave he is? He actually built sentries instead of an army, instead of stalkers or zealots.
Yeah, that's pretty smart actually in that situation.
I don't want to fight this. I just want to make the Zerg lose this push and fall back because my economy is ahead of him, so I can counter push him, which is what Huck is going to do right now. He's going to go for some stalkers, and he has so many sentries, he can actually break into the Zerg's base right now and do so much damage to his economy. Huck is so brave.
He's so brave.
He's so smart.
Let's say he's noble too. He's so noble.
Noble.
I think, I don't know if there's really a lot to say for the Zerg. The Zerg is now going to have to try to remake drones. But take a look at this, guys. 46 probes to 24 drones. That is a pretty big difference. So, all that Huck has to do is make stuff and attack him, not forget pylons, which I've done before.
Oh my god, my heart is still beating so fast.
And I think, yeah, the only thing going for the Zerg is that he's got, quite a distance between the bases, which will give him time to respond, make spine crawlers, but even then,
Huck can actually bring one of his probe right out of Reviver's base right now and just warp units in and kill him off. That's the thing about going for one base roach. If you feel the aggression, you'll be like, oh no.
It's unbelievable actually. There are people in Masters that only do stuff like one base roach, and it's like, well, that's a great build to have in your toolkit, with different strategies when you're playing the game, but you cannot only do this build and have success. I'm not saying that that's what Revival does, by the way. I'm just saying.
And the good thing is, +1 is almost up for Huck. So he has +1 Gateway Army right now.
Yeah, that's actually pretty big, considering how much more damage the Stalkers will do to the Roaches. Not enough creep out here for the Zerg to really have some back and forth here. And
here he comes.
I wonder how this is going to turn out. No Guardian Shield, surprisingly. Okay, there we go. GG. 1-1. Huck is still in this. Talk about a confidence builder right there. He's going to use a little hot pack. You got to keep your hands warm. Got to keep the blood moving. Cannot play StarCraft with cold hands. I'm being serious. I know I joke around a lot.
Reviver not feeling really happy right now. For a moment, it looked like he was going to burst into the base.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't blame him for doing that because he's already ahead. He's like, well, might as well just try to do a really well executed.
Take this risk.
Yeah, in fact, game number 2 in a best of 3 is almost always where the cheese occurs. Did you know that?
No, I
now you know. Now you know.
Thanks for teaching
me
something new.
Now you know.
Something new every day.
If you're in a tournament, actually, me and some of my training partners started noticing that in tournaments. Always in round 2 is a moment where someone's going to take a risk. Usually not in the first game because they're kind of testing the waters. In the third game. Third game, it's like, well, I don't want to end it on this because if I cheese and it loses, that's like a terrible feeling. You're like, oh, I play StarCraft all day. Why didn't I do the normal strategy? So, Huck, good job stopping that. I'm impressed.
Let's do a high five.
High five. I was worried they're going to fake me out like our Joseph did. I was all sensitive. I was like, okay, Kelly. But you didn't fake me out. So, yeah, our next map is going to be Shakras Plateau. It's a great map. They both had a lot of experience on it. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what strategies we're going to have. The countdown's begun. So let's get ready.
By the way, guys, ask your friends to watch the VOD of the second game. You can
Yes.
see Huck going off for the risk of using sentries instead of
Yeah, that's a pretty
giving
big
units.
deal, actually, to get these sentries instead of. I actually get the stalkers. I was like watching the sentries. I was like, well, this isn't going to work, but his force field placement was perfect. I'm impressed. Let's see if he can do it again.
He force filled your heart again.
He force fielded my heart right like that around there, so it was stuck right there. All right, the game has started, so we should get this going pretty soon. Here with Tasis and Kelly, this is the GSL in Seoul, Korea, the best show on earth.